So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can create this really attractive and sleek front end for a backend AI system here that takes AI generated text and transfers it into humanized text. And just to demonstrate how this works, I'm going to paste in some sample text from ChatGPT, which is 100% AI generated, and I'm going to hit humanize my text right here. So as you guys can see, we now have our humanized result here. We can go ahead and copy this, and we can actually go to GPT-0 where we can check whether this is AI detected or not. AI generated, sorry. We'll paste this in. We'll hit scan. We'll just wait. And here it says it's 100% human. So our workflow was working. So now I'm going to give you guys a full breakdown on how you can create both the front end and back end for this app. So the first thing we need to do is we need to head over to Loveable. So if you haven't used Loveable before, it's this really cool platform that allows you to create these sleek and minimalistic front ends for your AI systems. If you're using NAN, you can convert your workflows to these front ends so they have a really cool website to go with your workflows. So once you've signed up or logged in, you'll now be taken to this page where you have your prompt box here, which is similar to any sort of GPT platform like ChatGPT or Gemini. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paste in our prompt here. And if you guys want access to this prompt, you just need to go to my school community, which will be in the link in the description below, and you'll find the prompt there. And what this prompt will be doing, which as I showed earlier, it will be creating a front end for our AI workflow, which will be taking AI text and transforming it into humanized text. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter now, and we're going to wait for the platform to build our front end. So we did have to wait a little while, but we now have our front end here, where you see we have our make your text sound human website, where we can paste in our text here and then we can humanize it. But before we continue, I did want to make a few changes on how it looks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot here of this front end. We're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to paste that in. So we're now also just going to paste in our prompt here to improve the overall web design so we can have a more immersive and engaging front end. So we're just going to hit enter, and we'll wait for our result to come back. So we now have our full output for our improved UI design prompt that we can send back into Loveable. And if you guys also want access to this prompt here, I'll be leaving it in my school community so that you guys can copy and paste straight back into ChatGPT. So we're just going to go ahead and hit copy here. We're going to go back into Loveable, and we're going to paste in our prompts. And we're just going to remove this here if you want, because we don't need this. And we're going to hit enter. So now you can see that we have our improved website front end here with our login system here. We have links at the top and a tab bar, and we still have our features from before. But if we were to test this, so we have some sample text from ChatGPT, and we hit humanize. We just wait. We have our result here, but it actually hasn't changed. It's just the original text because we haven't set up our NIN workflow. So we're going to do that right now. And the way we know that this hasn't worked is that if we copy the result, we go to GPT-0 platform for the AI detector, and we hit scan. We can see here that says we are highly confident this text was AI generated. So it's detecting that it's AI generated and it hasn't been humanized. So our tool isn't working at the moment. So once you head it over to NAN, you either want to hit get started if you haven't got an account. Otherwise, you just hit sign in. So once you've signed in, you just want to hit create workflow here to start with. And the first node we'll add is going to be a trigger, and it's going to be the on form submission trigger. And the form is going to allow us to easily test our workflow. So we're just going to quickly add a title here. We're just going to say humanize text. And we're also just going to now add a field. We're going to call it text to human. And we're going to change the element type to text area. So we can now go ahead and just execute this form here. And we're just going to paste in this text from ChatGPT that I got, and we will hit submit. And now, as you can see over here, we have our form data that we can now use to build our workflow. So we're just going to pin the data here. I right click and hit pin, or you can just hit P on the keyboard. So now we're just going to quickly extract the data from the form so that we have a more cleaner data to look at. So we're just going to add a fields node. We are going to add a field, and we're going to call it text to human, and we can drag in our string here, and if we hit run, we get our data here, which is very clean, and we can just use this now moving forward. And now that we have our fields node extracting the data, this allows us to replace our forms with a webhook easily. Now the next step is to add a HTTP request so that we're able to access the Undetectable AI website here that we'll be using to convert our AI text to human text. Now, in order to make our HTTP request so that we can connect to Undetectable AI inside of NAN, we need to get our curl command as usual. So we just want to head over to this API button up here, and then we want to go to the documentation page. And if you just scroll down, you'll see your command right here. So we're going to copy this and we're going to head back into NAN. So we can just go back into NAN now, and we just need to add a HTTP request. So search HTTP request and hit import curl, and we will paste our curl command in right there. And now if we just scroll down, all we need is our API key. And to get that, we just want to go back to the website, and you need to sign up to get a key. So it's going to sign up or log in if you already have an account. So once you've logged in or signed up, you just have to fill in some brief information, and then you should have your API key here ready to copy back into NAN. So we're going to go ahead and copy this key. We're going to head back into NAN, and we're going to paste our key in right here. And now if we just go ahead and execute this, we will receive a token here. And this token is a temporary token which will expire very soon, but it's not to worry because this will refresh every single time the workflow is run. Now the next step is to add another node, which will be our second HTTP request, but this time it's going to be the node that will actually be creating the humanized text. So we're just going to go ahead and create another HTTP request. And we need another curl command, so we're going to go back to the documentation page. Just going to scroll down, and here we have an example request that we can copy. So we'll just go ahead and copy this. And now in NAN we can go ahead and hit import curl, and we can paste in our new curl command there. And now for our key, we're just going to remove this. We're going to change it to expression, so it's changeable. And then we're going to drag in our token from our previous request here. And if we scroll down, we also have our content field. So we're just going to remove this. We're going to change it to expression as well. And from our text to human node, we have our string that will have our content. So we'll drag that in right here. And so if we now just run it, we get our message back that says document has been submitted successfully. So now that we've created the text, we now need to get it back. So we're just going to go ahead and create another HTTP request. And we're going to go back to the documentation page again. We're going to scroll down till we see, where is it? Yeah, retrieve document. And our curl command is here to get a document back. So we're going to go back into NAN again. We're going to open up our new request, and we are going to import our new curl command again. And again, we'll need our key. So we'll just open up the access token. We'll remove this, and we'll change it to expression, and we'll drag in our token again. Right there. And if we just scroll down, for our document ID, we'll just remove this. We'll change it to expression again, and we will drag in our ID from the create humanized text node. Right there. And then we'll just hit execute. You can now see that we have both our inputs and outputs text here. And just to test, we will copy the output. We'll go back to GPT-0, paste it in. And you can now see that the most advanced AI checker on the market is identifying our text as fully human. 100% human, you can see here, with 0% AI, which is crazy. So we're now just going to refresh the page quick. And now we're just going to give the workflow another test. So we're going to hit execute workflow. But if we now just open our get node, we can see that our output is actually null. And this is because it's still processing. So what we need to do to fix this error is first we'll just close this. We're going to add a if node. And we're going to make it so that if the output is not empty, so we'll just set this to string and exists. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit execute. Now, because there isn't a value in the output, what's going to happen now is that the if statement will go to false. So we'll hook this back up to the get request, and now it will keep looping until we get a true. And for the final step, just to clean up a bit, we're just going to add a fields node, add a field, and we can just call it humanized text, and we'll drag in our output field here. String, and then we can just hit execute, and we now have our sanitized text, so just everything's just a bit more clean. So lastly, all we need to do now is add a webhook node so that we're able to access this workflow through the MCP inside of Loveable. So we're just going to right click on the canvas, we're going to hit add node, We're going to scroll down to add another trigger, and we're going to select on webhook call. Then we're just going to change the method to post. Path, we can just say text humanizer. And if we just now minimize out of this, we can hook this webhook up to our fields, and we can just remove this now. And now we just need to open our fields node because it's now an invalid string. We will close this and we will paste in a new string. And the string will be in my school community as well, so feel free to check that out. One more thing I did forget to tell you guys is that you just want to add a wait node here in between the if and the get request so that it waits 5 seconds every time. So now we're going to connect our workflow to Loveable. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to instant levels MCP. We're going to enable MCP access. And if we now just copy our server URL, we can go back to Loveable, go up here to settings, go to connectors, and go to NAN. And here we can just paste in our link and hit add and authorize. So now our NAN MCP is now connected to Loveable, and all that's left to do now is to tell Loveable it has access to our workflow. So we just lastly need to go back to our workflow. We need to go up to publish, hit publish. And now all we need to do is we need to go to the settings here, go to settings, and turn on available in MCP, and hit save. And lastly, we just need to copy this workflow name here. We'll go back to Loveable, and we're just going to say connect this NAN workflow to this app, and we'll hit enter. So we should now have a fully functioning AI text to human text generator app, which is powered by our backend that we created inside of NAN. So to give our app a quick test, we're going to paste in some sample text which I got from ChatGPT, which is fully AI generated, and we're going to hit humanize my text right here. And you can see that we now have our humanized result here, and we can copy our result. We can go to GPT-0 to test this again, hit scan, let's wait for it to load, and we can see that it says it's 100% human with no AI generation. And if we also just head back to our workflow and go to executions, we can see here that our latest execution was successful. As you can see here, all nodes ran successfully. So I hope you guys found this guide useful, and if so, please leave a like so that more people can see this and learn more about how to use these systems. I'll also be giving you access to all the content in this video in my free school community, and the link to that will be in the description of this video below, so feel free to check that out. And that's all for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.